Welcome to one of the most beautiful buildings in the entire city of love and lights, Paris. This is the Garnier Palais, the Grand Opera, the Palace of Garnier. Goes by a few different names, but basically it's the biggest opera and the most famous opera here in this city. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Today we're going to hop around from different landmarks, starting here at the Palais Garnier, and then later on to other major landmarks. May it be the Eiffel Tower, may it be the Louvre, the Tuileries Gardens. Who knows what else we'll see. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. And right now we are at one of the grandest operas. Wow, look, as we look above, oh my. It's just breathtaking in every way. And it is full today, a lot of school groups today, teenagers and little kids all around. So it's a hectic day here at the opera, even though there's no show going on. I'm super excited to show you this first and then explore more of Paris. So cool thing about Paris, it's very easy to get around via metro. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to. And Paris is not that big of a city. Paris is about the same size as Brooklyn. So Paris is the size of one borough in New York. So you can easily hop around from place to place. This place was built because of a terrible assassination that took place in January 1858. Or at least it was attempted to do so. A few bombers and someone staring at me because they want a photo, so let me tell you the story afterwards. 1858, January, a bomb is set off. Napoleon the becoming president and then making himself emperor. The very last emperor of France. He at least continued in his Napoleon Bonaparte. Well, he loved going to the opera, and he would go very often with his wife. One day they're taking the carriage to the old opera house that used to be very nearby, but this one he had to take his carriage to the front of the opera and walk into the front door as everyone else. So he's coming in on the front door, and suddenly a bomb goes off right in front of the carriage. And then boom, a second one on the side of the carriage. And then boom, a third one on the back of the carriage. The carriage is thrown asunder. But Napoleon survives. However, he won't allow this to ever happen again. So he ends up ordering to build an entire new opera. But this one had to have a private carriage entrance in the back of the opera. They held a huge contest. Who will build this huge, lavish structure to house the burgeoning theater scene of France? Well, they had a lot of choices. There was a lot of big-name architects. But they chose a kid, basically. 17 years old, he was admitted into l'École Beaux-Arts, which is the nearby school of architecture that end up influencing many of the most historic buildings of the US, especially in New York and Washington, D.C. His name was Charles Garnier. No one knew about him, but people were really fascinated by his proposal. Here's Charles Garnier. He started constructing this in 1861, but it took him 14 years to finish. So by 1875, it was a historic photo of how this is how it looked like while it was still under construction. a part of the new Paris made by George Eugene Haussmann, who ended up completely redesigning the city and ended up tumbling down thousands and thousands of homes, including the ones that were right in front of here, in order to build the Grand Boulevard. And right in front of us we have the Boulevard of Haussmann. Now Haussmann ended up getting notoriety because he ended up completely changing Paris, ultimately for the better. But why did this theater end up getting named after Garnier? Well, in essence, people were just so blown away by it. It's rare that you have a building named after the architect, but in this case, we do. So welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. Nice to see you here. Hey, Gary says, just let me send 200 stars for free. Thank you so much, Gary, for the 200 stars. However, this opera ended up becoming very popular. Not because of Garnier over in America. It ended up becoming popular in America because of an Englishman who tried to impress a young, beautiful to try to become his lover. He was courting her. And in order to court her, he decided to write her an epic musical that she can star in. That musical was based on a book, well, based on a movie that was based on a book by Gaston Leroux called The Phantom of the Opera. It's funny because the story of The Phantom of the Opera actually reflects the courting tactic of Andrew Lloyd Webber, because in the show, the Phantom kidnaps the main actress in order to have her in the show as well, but of his own. Andrew Lloyd Webber kind of did the same thing, but Andrew Lloyd Webber was not disfigured, nor was he living in the basement, as far as we know. Oh, I think the little kids are having access to the auditorium. Let me take a sneak peek. Usually this is not open, but let's seize the opportunity. Wow. So they seem to be setting up a show. That's why the here we have taking a tour. So this is the famous chandelier. Now, if you know the Broadway musical Phantom of the Opera, or seen the movie, you know that this chandelier, this chandelier falls down. Well, in real history, basically that's what happened. The chandelier did not fall down entirely, at least not the part that we see lighting up. But in order to hold up the chandelier, there's a counterweight all the way up there that we can't even see. It's over the ceiling of this beautiful mural. So there was a short circuit on the lighting wire for this chandelier. Very slowly, the cables that were holding the counterweight. Now this counterweight is extremely gigantic chandelier. You can imagine the counterweight is heavier. As those cables were melting, the show was going on. No one knew the wiser. And then suddenly it snapped. It snapped, fell down, and hit someone. Hitting a concierge who was standing in the middle of the theater. She died on impact. It was a terrible incident. It laid as a hole for years. This was the original mural. Now that we have is Chagall, but that was the hole of the chandelier. And of course that was adapted by Gaston Moreau in order to make the actual chandelier. And here we have the news of the day. But they end up redesigning it now, and we have a Chagall right up there. Alright, it's beautiful. We are so incredibly lucky in order to see this inside. Usually it's closed for tourists unless if you buy tickets to the opera, so consider yourself very lucky. One more time. I don't want to leave. I kind of just want to stay here and watch the show. I'll tell you another. So another thing of Phantom of the Opera is the Phantom kidnaps the main actress. His name is Eric in both the movie, the book, and the show as well. The actress was actually inspired by a real-life Christine who performed here, Madame Christine Nilsson. Maureen says stay longer right here. Okay, we'll stay a little bit longer. Leia sent 500 stars. Thank you so much, Leia. Tia says that would make an amazing 360 video. You know, I already posted a 360 video of the palace, the lobby, but I've never been inside the theater. Hey, in order to see if you're just tuning in, in order to see the ceiling, just go back 10 minutes after the broadcast is over. So I'm going to show you more of the Palace of Garnier, but let me tell you this other story. Actually, let me know. Was the lake real? We all know the show. A lot of people have seen it. And in the show, he takes Christine, the actress, down into his underground lair, in which he gets there by rowing a boat in an underground lake. Do you want to know whether that's real or not? Hey, Sunshine, nice to see you here. Thank you so much for a $4 super chat. Someone else left a super chat. Leia, thank you so much for 500 stars. How do you feel there? Cold, warm? It was just the right temperature. Sunshine, thank you so much for a $2 super chat. Madrid gives a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Madrid. I appreciate you for a $20 super chat. Amazing. So as they were building this huge opera, it was a massive undertaking. Opera is super elaborate. I'll show you a cross section over here. And I have another one. Where is it? Here's what is on top, right here. However, as they were building it, Charles Garnier noticed that the foundations were sinking and sinking. This was actually in the area where the Seine River actually had an arm into this area of Paris. So there was water constantly flowing right beneath our feet. This will have proved to be a massive disaster if left unattended. So if you manage to build this gigantic structure and then do anything to fortify that, it would just sink in a few years, collapse. So you think someone getting hit by the head and dying on impact from a counterweight is bad enough? You think a few fires from the previous operas were bad enough? Well, imagine this collapsing like the Titanic into the undergrounds of Paris. So in order to fortify the structure, he ended up building a reservoir, underground reservoir underneath. And we actually have here a diagram. Here's the system. Right below, we have the system of underground reservoirs. And here's the depiction of one of them. Now, these are real. And apparently, fish actually swim in them. And they're fed by kind theater employees. So while it's not an actual lake, it is a reservoir. There is water underneath us. And that's what inspired Gaston Leroux to write Phantom of the Opera. So that show has more truth than fiction. Debbie says, please show us the ground hall. I will do. Let me just take a video. I didn't have time to shoot a TikTok video, so let me do that. Multitasking. I think the stories here are so good that I had to shoot a video. This is how I do TikTok. All right, now let's continue walking through. Here you can see I'm clearly 5'3". If you see me in the mirror, you're like, wow, he looks tall. No, don't be deceived. The French people are very short. Wow. Oh my. This just takes your breath away. Benoit says, fake news. We French are also tall. Roberto says, visual overload. Lots of people, what are they doing? This is a tourist attraction. Het. Just a typical Parisian home. Yeah, just your typical Parisian home. This is basically how every home looks like. Debbie sent 500 stars. Thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate you. That's where they filmed Emily in Paris fashion show. Oh, that's cool that the fashion show is here. That's awesome. Dia says, ooh la la. Oh, yes. Ooh la la. Okay, everyone, watch your head. Chandeliers everywhere. Make sure they don't fall on you. You do not want that pointy end to go to you. Wendy says, is this your place? Yep, this is my Airbnb, ladies and gentlemen. I just invited a lot of people. Hey, nomades. Qué maravilloso, Ariel. How beautiful, how marvelous. Oh, sí, una maravilla. It's definitely a marvel to behold. Maureen says, George Michael had a concert here. That's so cool. Wow. This is a cool photo opportunity. So a lot of people say visit the Palace of Versailles. Palace of Versailles, the thing is, if you have a week or less in Paris, you're going to be dedicating an entire day to Versailles. You can't do Versailles half a day. It's basically a full day trip. First of all, it's about an hour to get from Central Paris to Versailles, and then second, the lines are usually very long, and then Versailles is very big. But this is a good alternative to Versailles if you have a very short trip to Paris. Let's show you the outside. Here we have the grand boulevards of George Eugene Haussmann. Adrian says poor people entrance. This was built specifically to have a private entrance for Napoleon III. Here we have the Toot bus. There's two main double-decker bus companies, Toot and Big Bus. Full elegance, oh yes. Okay, there's the cover of a very popular song playing, so I'm gonna play some music over this. Enjoy. That was All Is Known from the Afterworld album by Urbanist. Check it out on Spotify and anywhere where music is available online. Let's go downstairs. It says in the wise words of Borat, it says, it's very nice. Yes, it is very nice. Athena with the $20 euro super chat. Thank you so much, Athena. That's a very kind super chat of you. Thank you. You know, I just tried to find haunted stories. They're not haunted. I couldn't find any. I think he was inspired by real life incidents, but I don't think there's any ghost stories associated with here. So let's check out the costumes. Here they have a few costumes on display. Athena, round of hearts for Athena. Thank you so much for the generous 20 euro super chat. I appreciate you, Athena. Athena, as a prize, you end up getting this dress. And this is what I'm going to wear tomorrow. I'm gonna walk around the streets of Paris looking like this. I love the old school elevators. That's so you. That waist though, on both of them, yeah, they're tiny little waists for both. Here's a few more. Tina says, I'm wearing my birthday dress. Nothing. This is kind of cool. I like this one. This one's from Abderrahman, Act 3. And here, oh wow, this looks like a ballet one. There's like a modern one next to it. Athena! Wow, Athena! Wow, Athena has left another 20 euro super chat for a total of 40 euro. Thank you so much, Athena. Round of hearts for Athena. I hope you enjoy the crown, Athena. It's being shipped right to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for the contributions. Is there a gift shop? Yes, there is. Cynthia says, where are we off to now? Oh, you'll see. This is just the beginning of the adventure. All right, say goodbye to the Palais Garnier. Excusez-moi. Yes.
Moi je sors les filles. Pas de lait. Oh.
Susie says, magnets for me and Kay, please. Oh yeah! Kay does collect magnets. Do you as well, Susie? Treat us all, says Wendy. So that was the Palais Garnier. Now where else can we go? 50 euro. So I got you. No, stop. That was Urbanus, main theme song remix by Felix Nord on the Urbanus original soundtrack. So Athena left another whopping 20 euro super chat. Euro, wow. Athena says, lunch on me. Thank you so much, Athena. For some food, but first let's go to. Now we have a food fun along the way. But let's find the metro first. I think it'll be easier to go from the back of the Palais Garnier. Where is the metro? So there's a metro stop right in front of the Garnier, but I think we've been walking a little bit too much underground. So I'm trying to go to the back entrance. B. Chris has no French music. I have that. But I do have some copyright free music I can play that's French. Ariel, thank you so much for the stars. We have my dad tuning in. Thank you so much for the stars. Richard says, can I see what your gear is? No, I gotta take a photo of with me with my gear, but and all the links will pop up. I got updated because I'm using the DJI mic instead of the Rode Wireless Go. Viewing area. And this is the Galerie Lafayette. Linda says if I can't come to New York City, it's Paris. I don't blame you, Linda. This is a great second choice to New York. Look at that lovely, lovely backside. Great backside. I'm not sure what's going on in the comments, but everyone very serious, okay? Very serious. We're talking about serious history, serious architecture, serious backsides of buildings, okay? Linda says they have a nice rooftop. Yeah, and I still have to go to the department store that has a beautiful like supermarket. Do let me know which one it is. Susan sent 300 stars. Thank you so much, Susan. Leia sent 50 stars. Thank you so much. Kathy says, how long are you staying in Paris? As I mentioned, every new day on the schedule is a new adventure. If you see more Paris, you see more Paris. If you don't see more Paris, you don't see other Paris. You see other places. Stay tuned. Let's go into the metro. Greg says, why the mystery? the reason I'm doing the mystery is because I think it's kind of cool to have people at the edge of their seat to wonder where I'm tuning in. I've always wanted to give someone an adventure where I don't tell them where to go. So I'm doing that to the masses. I would do that with a significant other. I would tell them like, hey, pack your bags. I'm not gonna tell you where to go, but I'm gonna tell you what type of clothes you need. And we're gonna go there. Just pack your bags, come on the plane. Except it's a 3-month trip. I'm not sure if a significant other would be down for that. So I'll explain to you what I just did. Those are turnstiles. I ended up getting a 5-day pass called the Paris Visite. And where are we going? We're going the 9 Pont de Sèvres direction. We're starting here at Chaus de Antin Lafayette. Pardon the pronunciation, I'm doing my best. And we're going Trocadero Brand. So this cost about €33 for zones 1 through 3, which is all you need for the majority of sites in Paris. If you plan on going to Versailles, maybe seeing the Basilica Saint-Denis, or a few other places outside, then get zones 1 through 5. So here's the Metro of Paris, one of the oldest metros in the world, older than New York's. And let's see, where are we in the map? It's a bit hard to. This metro thing is, whew, the way it looks is a lot more confusing than New York, in my opinion, because New York Manhattan is like the hub. So here things are crisscrossing, similar to London's Underground. So we're somewhere around this area. Yeah, right here. We're close to here. Yeah, right here. There we go. We're here. A lot of these stops are all close to each other, so you won't be walking more than 5 minutes. Athena, another €20 super chat. Oh, thank you so much, Athena. €80 super chat, says dinner. Thank you so much.
Je sais pas.
Havre Comartin. Saint-Augustin, Saint-Augustin.
Islam, welcome everyone. Sorry, I was just cursing a lot.
Miromesnil, Miromesnil. Saint-Philippe du Roule. Saint-Philippe du Roule.
Adrian and everyone else, the reason I'm not filming the car too much is because A, it's a bit awkward, and B, Europe has very strict privacy laws, unlike the US. So just to minimize any issues, just playing the camera where it's more comfortable.
Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt.
US president.
Alma Marceau. Alma Marceau.
Two more stops.
Iéna. Iéna.
J'ai 72 ans. Je suis seul. Pourriez-vous m'aider une pièce de ticket restaurant? La moindre pièce aidez-moi si cela est possible.
Trocadéro. Trocadéro.
Merci de votre... Pardon, messieurs, dames. Messieurs, dames, pourriez-vous m'aider? La moindre attention, messieurs, dames, la moindre pièce va m'aider. Aidez-moi si cela est possible. Je vous remercie.
All right. So that was the train. Let me show it to you, departing. Greg says, have I taken the RER? Yeah, I have. It's really efficient. Maybe we'll take you on this trip. So that was a ride from Palais Garnier to Trocadero. You're gonna see why Trocadero is very important as a metro stop. I'm about to find out. All right, let's go. So, unlike the New York metro system, A, it's not too noisy. B, there's no human poo smeared all along the floors and rats stealing pizzas. And C, you don't need to wait more than 3-4 minutes maximum at almost every single train. No more than 4 minutes, even late at night, even early in the morning. It's a miracle. And there's no crazy people yelling. You know, I haven't been yelled at in a week and a half, and it feels great. And by yelled at, I mean not by anyone I know. I'm just talking about random strangers in the street in New York. There's no smell of urine. Maybe just a guy begging one or two, but that's it. Whoa, $10 super chat by CJ. Says, hello, hola Ariel. I'll be visiting London, Paris, and Scotland in early July with my family. Thank you for the great content. My pleasure. My pleasure, CJ. I really appreciate the $10 super chat. It's so awesome that you're visiting all the way here. 3 awesome countries. That's really cool. All the way from Puerto Rico. That's really cool. Let me know, where are you flying into? Are you flying in from Puerto Rico? I'm very curious how Puerto Rico to Europe works. I've never done it. So here you don't need to tap out for the metro. You do have to tap out when you use the RER. Oh, this one's not working. Some of them don't work. And yeah, B. Chris was mentioning mind your pockets. Yes, do mind your pockets, mind your bag as well. Don't put any valuables. Anything that's super valuable, don't put it in the front pocket of your bag. Put it in the back pocket of your bag, or stuff it. If you only have one pocket, stuff it really deep. And make sure the zippers are kind of on your side. I would say those are the basic precautions you have to take here in the Paris Metro. And then don't put anything in your back pocket like a wallet. Always put it on your side pocket and where you can feel it. And if you're wearing baggy pants with very loose pockets, then do watch out, just in general. Because not only pickpockets, that could just slip out. Dolores says, Polly, the subway does not smell like a urinal. No, does not smell like a urinal. No poo smeared across the walls like in New York. No needles that you have to dodge while walking. No screaming maniacs in the street screaming alone to anyone who even glances at them. No waiting for the train for 20 minutes. No train suddenly being canceled and delayed. It is quite a beautiful, beautiful change of pace from New York. No showtime, no guys trying to do breakdancing in a crowded train. Oh, it is heaven. It's even slightly more pleasant than the London Underground. The London Underground is pretty clean too. So we are in Trocadero. And you might have already seen the signs. Not divine signs. I'm talking about the actual physical signs on the metro system. Divine signs maybe too. So the reason you saw those signs of the most famous building in Paris is because this is one of the best places to see the great Eiffel Tower. Voila! La Torre Eiffel. the most famous building in all of Paris, here at the Trocadero Plaza. Great photo opportunity right here. But before we continue walking around, if anyone asks you for petitions to sign any petition, don't sign anything. No matter how they look, don't sign anything. You don't need to sign anything. 2 is, this is a very visited spot. So I have a bag that has a back pocket area that's very hard to get to because it's against my back. And I stuff this deep into my bag, especially in the crowded touristy area like this. That's the other thing. And at the moment, I really don't need this phone. So I'm gonna stuff this in my bag as well. And then the other pro tip, I don't want to make anyone fearful, but I'm just trying to give you pro tips that are practical. The other pro tip is, if you have a bag with zippers, this is vulnerable in the front, especially if you're taking photos, you're with family or a significant other, friends, you're in the moment, you don't want to be looking over your shoulder. So my pro tip is to put the zippers on the side of your main hand. So I'm a lefty, so I want to put it on this way. So here I'm able to pay attention to them more. And there we go. That's my pro tip. Also, if anyone tries to give you a bracelet, do not accept any bracelets. And if someone offers to take a photo from you, I'll leave it up to you, but just pay attention if you trust anyone with your camera. Nick says, get a zip line. Yeah, I mean, there's other pro tips. So let us know in the comments what are your other pro tips for walking in crowded touristy areas in cities where people are actually really competent pickpocketers. Ron says, what if it's a bracelet from the police? That's a different matter. There's fences here. I think they're fixing something. Here's love locks. What do these guys sell? They're selling replica Eiffel Towers. Cheap metal. I gotta take a sip of water. Miss Lob says it's plastic. Oh yeah, it could be plastic. Very cheap metal, aluminum. Here's the famous photo of trying to. Oh, that hurts. Oh my god. Okay, watch out. Be careful where you be careful where you place the finger on the tip. Remember, everyone, when in Paris, just the tip. That's my advice. More than the tip, you run into issues. Miss Love says, LOL, Ariel, you are a hoot. It's a bit backlit. I think, let me know, any photo experts out there, what would be a good time to take a photo of the Eiffel Tower? Because when you try to take it via camera, it kind of looks a little bit washed out. But right there, DS says alrighty then. I'm not sure why people are laughing. I'm not sure why people are laughing. I'm just giving you some pro tips about a very erect structure right here. The Eiffel Tower has been erect for more than 120 years at this point. Imagine being erect for that long. It is quite a feat. Used to be able to see through, but no longer. All right, everyone, here we have Monsieur Pierre Le Pigeon du Paris. That's his full name. He's he's a very flamboyant Parisian. Likes to strut the streets of Paris. He doesn't like being called just Pierre. He likes Monsieur Pierre Le Pigeon de Paris. Why do they have blocked off the view? I think they're doing construction work or maintenance work. It's kind of sad. There was a protest here. Look, graffiti. Sad when people protest and leave graffiti. We get it, you're angry, but come on, guys. Don't leave graffiti on beautiful architecture. Vislav says, Pierre is writing to Bob in New York saying, yes, your man is here. I have him in my sights. Kathy says, Pierre, bonjour. It's Monsieur Pierre Le Pigeon du Paris. Monsieur Pierre Le Pigeon du Paris. He shall only be summoned by that name. He has an entourage of 3 other pigeons. They're more rough around the edges. Monsieur Pierre lives a double life. We got Frederic, we have Camille, and the third one is Pepe.
Okay. Awesome is here.
Where is the ball, brother? Tell me this. Where is?
I'm not sure what this guy's doing. This guy's gambling. Bella says great name. Thank you, Bella. Monsieur Pierre is gonna take care of this guy soon. Ain't no one getting on Monsieur Pierre's turf. That guy is hiding his things. That's funny. I think there is actually a rivalry. Seems like there's another group of guys who like doing their cups thing, and that one left his things under to go to him. Interesting. S. Fields, nice to see you here. Welcome. Ben Lee says, looking for the right angle. Yes. All you need is the right angle. Ulysses says, are you American? No, Ulysses. I am trans country. I don't identify with any nationality. I am a man of the world. Don't dare nationalize me. Oh my god, we got some acrobatics. Esfiel says he's country fluid. Yes, I'm country fluid. Raphael says, what about going to the top of the tower? Maybe. I might go, but not today. Because there's a security check and I will have to turn off my camera. Mary says, no mimes? No mimes. They seem to be miming their own business. So they're not here anymore. Mark says, this is by far my favorite of your trips. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying the Paris trip. Thank you. Can we go a lot nearer, says Wendy. Yes, we can. This looks like missiles aimed at the Eiffel Tower. Sean says, can you tell us the story of the architect? Gustave Eiffel. 1899. Paris wanted to blow away the European public in their exposition. So there was expositions every year all around through Europe. It was a showcase of architecture, technology, and artistry. A lot of them took place in Germany. You also had in England a few of them, such as the one built in the Crystal Palace. Watch my video about the Crystal Palace in London. And then you had them in New York, like in Bryant Park, with another Crystal Palace. So for the grand 1899 Exposition, they decided to build this gigantic structure out of steel, because steel was growing rapidly. It was becoming the best building material for this new world. Cool thing about the steel that he ended up making was curved, but he learned his techniques a few years before when he made the inner structure skeleton for the Statue of Liberty in collaboration with Augustus Bartholdi. Because of those techniques of bending steel and making it to his form, he made this. But when this was made, people thought it was horrendous. They thought it was a blight upon the city. Okay, it was nice for the exposition, but I think it's time to destroy it. That's what a lot of people said. Actually, that was on the terms in which they built the Eiffel Tower in the first place, was to build it as a temporary structure. That's why in New York City, for example, we don't have the structures of the World's Fair from 39 or 64, or from 1904, something along those lines. In Chicago, we don't have these gigantic, huge, lavish buildings from the World's Fair of Chicago back in 1892. And the list goes on for World's Fairs all around Europe and North America. They built this gigantic, lavish buildings, some of the most beautiful buildings seen in world history, and they destroyed them. The Eiffel Tower was under the same fate, and they really did want to destroy it, but it was so tall that they didn't, and the government procrastinated. But by World War One, the Germans were invading, and this proved to be a very important tool, not only as a lookout point, but also as a radio tower. It was by far the tallest building in all of Paris, and the tallest building in this entire region of Western Europe. So this ended up being a very powerful way to communicate between the Allied forces in World War II. And then World War One. And then in World War II, the Germans invaded, they occupied France, and the Big H, you know his name, I'm not gonna say it too much, unless if it's direly necessary. But the Big H ended up putting a call, as he knew that the war was coming to an end and he was going to lose, to destroy Paris, including this. The general in command of Paris before the Allied forces came and took it over ignored that order. Bombs were set in many areas of Paris. Eiffel Tower was going to be destroyed along with every other building that we know today and love. The Palais Garnier would have been destroyed. But he said no. Went against the orders of his Führer. Very brave guy. Some people say that he did it rather selfishly because he did not want to be charged for war crimes. Other people said that he couldn't bear to destroy the beauty that is Paris. Probably was a mix of both. And I think it definitely was part that he did not want to destroy the beauty of Paris because the Germans actually loved Paris. During World War II, there was a boom in tourism here in Paris. Yeah, in the middle of a world war, middle-class Germans were coming here in droves, visiting Paris, filling up its cafes. Coco Chanel, who was a famous Parisian fashion designer, actually mingled with those Germans during that era. So luckily we still have the Eiffel Tower. And take another sip of water, let me show you more. Kenya, nice to see you here. Maria, welcome. Thank you for tuning in from Greece. George says you're eating a cup of noodles. Oh, cool. If anyone in the comments can let us know a little bit about the Trocadero. I don't know any off the top of my head. There's definitely references to Spain here. I can't do the perspective shot. Pablo Picasso says Ulysses. Yes, let us know the short history of the Trocadero. If anyone can Google it very quickly. Liking the animal sculptures. Yeah, let me show it to you. Hi there, Robin. Nice to see you here. Robin. Is this just a viewpoint or are there rooms? Yep, this is actual structure. Let me know what's used for also. Macrina, great question. Yeah, this is in use. Ah, Susie has a great idea. Yeah. It's really hard. I definitely need I can't do this one-handed, it's a bit hard. So there we go. People do the holding up the Eiffel Tower, the pinching, the holding. You have to be farther away. Let me know whether someone has done the kick as well. There's other ways of doing the Eiffel Tower. Parisians and tourists alike love picnicking. It's very typical to picnic. You know, we don't do it too much in the US because in New York, poo is smeared on the grass as well. But here we do it. Here, Parisians love to picnic. Wow. Beautiful pigeon. This is Francine. Francine Le Pigeon. She's, you can call her the mistress of Monsieur Pierre. Also, Pierre might actually already be married, but he spends a lot of time with Francine. Sean says, was that Frederick? Yeah, they're keeping an eye on Francine. Yeah, she's always accompanied. Hey, Ulysses says, vous parlez français? No, no parlez-vous français? Anglais. Or Español? How do I say Spanish? Español? How do I say Spanish in French? Let me know. How do I cross here? It's confusing. Does anyone have experience writing these guys? Let me know if they're honest or known to charge a lot. Let me know. CJ, oh CJ, thank you so much for answering my question. So CJ is coming over to Paris. She's Puerto Rican, and she's saying that someone flies directly to Gatwick. That's cool, Francine. That is awesome. That is really cool, actually. Huh. Paris is a city with a lot of pigeons. Oh yes, yes, there's a lot of pigeons here. National Theater of Dance. Interesting. So there's no direct path. We gotta do the long way walking around. Macrina says it's les Espagnols. Les Espagnols. Les Espagnols. Mark says Pepe likes Francine too. So Esfiel says the GN in French is similar to the yin sound in Spanish. Español, Español, l'Espagnol. The cars don't stop at the crossings in Paris. Yes, do mind the crosswalks. Sometimes they do not stop. I've noticed a few that don't stop. Bikers as well, and scooter drivers. So do look both ways. Don't assume that the car will stop. Unlike in the US where they do stop. at a light. Ulysses, are you Parisian? Vous Parisien? Ulysses says they don't stop at the zebras. Interesting, yes, that's true. Police here. Susie asks, have I tried the scooters? I have tried the scooters, yeah. And they're very good. I use both Lime, which is also based in the US. Not based in the US, it's also in the US. It's an Irish company, I think. Do let me know. And then Dot. And there's a third company, which I haven't tried yet. Both of them are very easy to use. They charge reasonable as well. Chris says the police seem to do very little. They're stopping people here, checking their IDs. It happens with people who clearly look like they are from North Africa, Middle East. It happens a lot. I'm curious, let me know if you're European. I've noticed that in Italy, I've noticed that in Greece, and now here in France, the police tend to stop people who look Middle Eastern or North African at major tourist stops or train stations. I've seen that in all those countries. Let me know why that happens. They check ID, which never happens to, I don't know, it doesn't seem to happen to many other tourists. Wendy says, have I tried to swim the Seine River yet? No, not yet. So do watch out with these women. Of course, I know that some people are having hard times, but just be aware that when you stop and give money, sometimes the person either might be having it very close to them, or they might put it much farther away and pretend that it's fallen down and all the change has fallen on the floor. Do watch out, because either A, they might try to pickpocket you, or B, they have someone else who tries to pickpocket you. So again, don't walk around with fear, but just have street smarts with these things. So I get it that someone wants to give from the kindness of their own hearts, but do remember that other person doesn't have your best interest in mind. And that this is the case in a lot of places in Europe. This is not really the case in America. There's not that many pickpockets in America. No one's really competent in pickpocketing in America from what I've seen. But here, yes. People waving at me. Ulysses says, have I been to the Champs-Élysées? Yes, it's my second video here. RJ says, don't buy CDs off the street. That's a New York scam, not so much here in Paris. I've not seen CD sellers. I think I've seen them in London, but not here. Danny says, yeah, it's common also in Portugal, yeah. I've never seen a COVID testing site so dirty, ever. Wow. Here is the hub to take the Bateau Parisien, and that is the great cruise that goes along the Seine. There's the basic tourist one. That's just a basic ride for about an hour, and you can see that live video. There's also one. There's a variety of different ones. Kind of like a ferry, kind of like a double-decker big bus tour. stops, so you can use it to commute around, and that's the bateau bus. All right, I have to mute. There's music playing. That was Keeper of the Multiverse. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. Search Afterworld by Urbanist and you'll see it there. As Phil says, check out the requirements. The US may lift the requirement to test negative for the big C. That is awesome. I'm relieved to hear that. There was a lot of spending when it comes to taking the C test before going there, and the time constraint it makes travel very stressful. Okay. No, this is full. Here's the exit. Lovely song, says Robin, makes life much lovelier. I'm so glad. I'm glad you enjoyed the song. Spencer says Mission Impossible Fallout was filmed here. Oh yeah, it was. That's a great movie. Sis Roby says they check if they're illegal immigrants. Oh, I see, referring to the police who was checking people of North African and Middle Eastern descent. Okay, this area is very spacious. So let's go to another destination where we're gonna see very cool monuments. Okay, cool. So I was using my phone to orient myself, though I can wander and eventually find my way. I want to show you another cool area of Paris that is beautiful. So just to illustrate how easy it's to hop around from place to place. There's a few other places to see around here. You can go to Rue Claire, which I did a video of. Check out that video of wandering Paris. I wandered through Rue Claire on a rainy day. And that's a beautiful pedestrianized street that you can see a lot of shops, a lot of fromageries, trattoirs, boulangeries, and other things. Pardon. All right, watch out. That was weird. That guy tried to touch me. Not sure why. So do watch out. Don't stop for anyone.
Did you get any?
And then you can go to Invalides as well, which is the tomb of Napoleon. And there's a cool army museum and everything as well. Esfiel says that was weird. Yeah, that was weird. I think the guy was on drugs. You can tell. His eyes were very bloodshot. But this is a cool perspective. Look at this. Yeah, Wendy says be careful. Yeah, that guy was not good. No. Don't stop for anyone. As I mentioned, street smarts. That's beautiful. Mighty Bull, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And Dolores says, glad you're so aware. Yeah, if you feel a bad feeling, I saw that guy coming. If you feel a bad feeling, I felt a pit in my stomach, just go. Don't stop. Don't try and listen to what the person is saying. You don't owe anyone to stop. That person, especially if you know the language, may try to guilt you to say, hey, why are you not stopping? Why are you not helping me? You're not entitled to help anyone. Anyone. Being a good person does not mean being stupid. So, street smarts. That was an example A fortunate example of that to show you a live video.
Hello guys.
This feel says, better be rude than sorry. Yes, indeed. Vita says it's good training being a New Yorker. It is, yeah. You know, New York is kind of, you get the entire spectrum. You get the very beautiful neighborhoods, and you also get the very down in the rut neighborhoods. You have very crazy people, and you have very nice people in New York. It's definitely the city of big spectrum. Marianne, thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate you. So now we're heading towards another train to hop over to another major landmark. We can walk there. It'll be about a 40-minute walk, but I want to show you how the train is. So let's go and take the RER, which is rail. It's regional rail, but it's like Long Island Railroad, but it runs more in the city. So it's like the Long Island Railroad, but with a lot more stops within the city. And this one you do have to tap out, so do beware. So the signage here is very clear, especially if you know the Western language system, and you can easily discern it. There is accessibility with elevators. Beware. So if you require a lot of accessibility, it might be a little bit tough. No, we missed the train. No, how long do we have to wait? 3 minutes. Not long at all. 3 minutes. There we go. In New York, this would be devastating. To miss the train, oh my God, it would be devastating. You miss the Long Island Railroad, you gotta wait 30 minutes or 40 minutes, sometimes longer. So it's very good. Okay, so your Paris Visite ticket, zones 1 through 3, will include the RER, the regional rail. So you can hop on these commuter rail, regional rail might not be the best word, commuter rail trains. This is not the case in New York. In New York, the Metro card only works for the New York City subway system and the bus. It does not work for the Long Island Railroad. Netogino says, gotta go. Love the concept of today's video. Thank you for always taking us with you. My pleasure. Eric says, you're getting on the train. I'm on the train in Chicago. Danny says if you miss the metro, it would take like 30 minutes in Porto, Portugal. Oh no, that sucks. David says, I wonder what you do if you're in another country and get sick and your insurance doesn't cover it. My sister said her boss and family are stuck in Paris because they got the C. He was the only one with the extra booster. The others just had a booster. Yeah, luckily you're in a big city. You can wait it out if it's not dire, which is, I would assume it's better. Here we are. Let's go.
Il y a des Français qui rigolent, madame.
Ah bah oui, non.
C'est les Parisiens.
Ah oui, voilà.
Paris.
Moi j'ai
Si, c'est
Adelaide.
Paris.
J'ai Adelaide.
De où?
De l'Aisne.
C'est où? Je connais pas.
Adelaide, c'est un peu vers le nord.
Il faut rigoler ça.
Ah bah oui.
Vous m'avez fait un sourire, ça a changé.
Ah, c'est bon.
Ah oui. Mais moi je suis tous les jours là, mais vous non.
Ah non, non,
Vous
non,
avez de
moi,
la
non.
chance.
Ah non, non, moi je suis à la campagne.
Vous avez de la chance.
Ah oui, oui, oui. Je pourrais pas d'ailleurs. Pas tous les jours d'ailleurs.
Regardez, elle rigole. Oui, moi je pense. Et on va pas me dire rentre chez moi parce qu'ici c'est chez moi. Chez moi c'est partout où je suis. Non mais sérieux, ça va faire.
Ah bah non, bah les gens ils sont.
Oui, maintenant.
Ah, ils continuent pas, hein.
vous m'avez fait un sourire. T'as vu, on n'a pas. Je vous fais pas de mal. Vous faites
Non. Oh, moi, je trouvais facilement, donc.
C'est bien. Comme moi.
Donc, ça va.
Ah, mais moi, je pense que c'est. Et pourtant, j'ai un bon travail.
Hein?
Oui, c'est le mieux. Quand on est le même paquet, c'est le mieux.
C'est vrai.
On gagne pas la même chose, mais c'est le mieux. Le paquet,
Ah oui, plus que moi. Ah oui, bah, tu vois.
oh, Christiane,
C'est ça. C'est sûr que. Je pense.
ah non, c'est sûr.
Ah oui.
Et
Too
Christiane,
much sauce.
Christiane,
It's a bit slow, but way better than New York. Yeah, way better than the one I remember.
On est pour ça.
non, il faut être.
Ouais, bon.
Le foot, c'est
Ah, j'ai
la
regardé
joie.
quand même. Hein.
La joie.
Quand ils ont joué la.
Le foot, c'est la joie. Le foot, c'est un sport de joie.
Ah oui, c'est sûr. C'est vrai que.
Non.
Ah oui, c'est sûr.
Par exemple, le paysage.
Ah, on a regardé quand même.
Oui, quand on est intéressé.
Ouais.
Quand on a l'intéressé.
Ouais.
Vous avez aussi le monde.
Ah ouais.
Ici, juste pour vous dire, je suis loin. Mais je connais.
Ouais, donc.
Ah, je suis pas folle.
Non.
Mais je suis sport.
Non, non.
Oui, mais le sport, c'est la joie. C'est pour ça que les Espagnols, quand ils sont venus ici avec les Anglais, ils n'ont pas compris. Et là, ils attaquent les cartes.
Non, non.
Voilà. Je suis essayé de trouver des mots. Parce que j'ai fait la bibliothèque. Je ne sais pas si vous connaissez.
Non.
La bibliothèque, c'est le plus cher. La bibliothèque, elle fait Georges V. Vous connaissez le triangle d'or?
Ah, on vient pas tout du poil, on fait pas.
Qui nous connaît? C'est la Buenenborg.
Ah oui, là-bas.
Voilà.
Non.
Voilà, c'est là-bas que.
Ouais.
Et là-bas, j'ai vu. C'est déjà l'après-midi.
Ah ouais, non.
J'ai vu comme ça. Le soir, au stade de France, c'est vrai.
Renee, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Renee recommends frugasse for pizza. That's awesome.
Ah non, mais bon.
Mais bon, tu n'acceptes pas ça. Et toi, les Russes, ils sont interdits de venir, ils jouent mieux par
Non, mais.
Et là, les Anglais, ils ont fait le connerie, ils n'ont pas payé. C'est les Anglais qui vont payer. Mais là, pas d'autre monde.
Ah bah non.
Mais je ne veux pas vous donner. La bouteille, elle est déjà ouverte. Sinon, je vais vous donner une bouteille. Elle est où, ma bouteille? Elle est au fond. Elle est ouverte parce que c'est la mienne.
Ah ouais.
Non, non. Mais vous avez spontanéité bien.
Ouais, voilà.
Moi aussi, vous évoque. Vous connaissez ça? Non. Ah bon? Elle est dans toute la France.
Hein?
Hein? Le Superboc, c'est la mienne. Ils aiment les...
Okay, that was the train we just boarded. It's huge. Double decker. Which way do I get out? This way. Kathy says music would be nice. Yeah, I don't have my mic attached, so when for the app I use, Prism Live Studio, if I don't have the mic attached, the music that you're hearing actually plays out loud on my speakers too. So yeah, that would be very awkward. Yeah, cool. Okay. So unlike the metro, you do have to tap out. This guy is we just saw someone jump the turnstile. If you're staying here for more than a week, I would recommend maybe trying the Navigo Pass, which is kind of the Oyster card of France. Now it's all right, now we're out. If anyone can let Rene know that he's probably watching behind, press the live button. And look at what we have here. The famous booksellers of Paris. We have books of all kinds. Wendy says, you're walking too fast, I can't keep up. Oh my God. These are cool. Antique postcards. Some of them have writings on them. Bon Venesse, je te embrasse, tu connais. I'm not sure. I don't know what that means. Wow, this is so cool. This is Place de Concorde. This one's empty. Have I bought souvenirs? No, not yet. I'm traveling for a long time, so I can't carry around too many souvenirs. So postcards probably be the only souvenirs I use, or clothes that I need. Wendy says, get me another one. One postcard per urbanist, but thank you so much for becoming a mega urbanist. But I will, since mega urbanists, a lot of them are of course sticking around a long time, there will be months where I'll be in New York and I'll offer postcards that are randomly from a different place. So let's grab a few. This one's nice. I like this one. Let's see. Oh, this one has writing on it. Ooh. Wow. Oh. I like that this one has a stamp. That's so cool. Try and find the ones without writing. Some look risque. Oh yeah, I can't show that too long. I like this one. Ooh. Ah, a lot of these ones are written on. Yes. Ah, yes. Look at that. All right. So, who wants one of these? So you can feel free to get one of these. Bonjour. Free. It's for you. Beautiful collection you have here. Very nice.
I have to get some change to my neighbor.
No worries. Take your time. So I got 3. Wendy says, I'll take a book, please, too. Yeah, you can buy books here. Cool souvenirs are these prints as well. They're reasonably priced. You can get like 15 euro. Some of them are bigger. Some of them are very vintage.
That's for you.
Merci beaucoup. Have a great day.
Yeah,
Went to the... So look at that. All beautiful maps. Even currency. As you can see, a lot of French people do know English. So, where are we? Let me know. Do you know what the building is that is behind me right now? You might have catched a glimpse of it. You might have seen the signs that were all around the metro. You might notice that we're right by a river. Right here, the main river, the Seine. Not McDonald's, says S. Fields. Not McDonald's. We are right by Notre. Cue the music. The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Alan Menken. Ron says my guess was White Castle. You know, that is a good guess. Got more of the booksellers. Look at that. Oh, these are beautiful. Wow. Paris is a great postcard city. There's certain cities around the world where you'll find amazing, top-notch postcards. Paris is joining the ranks of Seattle, ironically. Seattle might not have the beauty of Paris, but it definitely has amazing postcards. So Paris is on top there with Seattle. I bought way too many postcards. London is the other top city. Those are so far the top 3. New York does not come close. They all look the same in New York. It's hard to find unique ones. Chicago really sucked. They had very few, if any. So I have a gigantic stack. I think I bought too many. Miss Love says, I would like to go to Scandinavia. Huh, that's interesting. That's an interesting recommendation. I mean, Scandinavia is in Europe. So who knows? I could go to hot Europe. I could go to cold Europe. Will we see Quasimodo? Asks Susie. Ooh, that's a great question. But before we go see the majesty and grandeur of Notre Dame. Let's take a little detour. Ms. Olf says, I am reminded as I had to go to Copenhagen via Paris. Yeah, right now the cheat code, if you're an American that doesn't want to take a COVID test or have to be vaccinated, you can go to Copenhagen or England and get here. Because Denmark and a few other EU countries are not have any requirements. Diane says, how about one of the more obscure countries? Things will be covered. Both iconic, hint hint, we're in it right now, underrated, and far corners of Europe. Right here we have the most famous bookstore in Paris, Shakespeare and Company, where some of the most famous authors, writers, philosophers have stayed up here in the dorms that they provide at very, very low cost. It's been around for a while, so let me just zoom in from the outside. They really don't allow filming inside, so I'm just gonna peek in through here from the outside. W. Gator says, do you plan on going to Belgium or Netherlands? Every day is a new adventure. Stay tuned. Renee says, most famous in English. Yeah, do let me know. Is there anyone that's more famous? Just in general, is there a more famous French bookstore? Tourist-wise, this is the most famous one, I think. And here's the antiquarian shop. A lot of people don't go into the antiquarian shop. This is also the starting point for one of the best movies in Paris, in my opinion, English-speaking movies, Before Sunrise. And also, is this where Harry Potter 2 starts? No, it's not. Never mind. It starts in a very similar looking bookstore. But Before Sunrise starts here. Wow. And they have a cafe, so if you're looking for more of your American style coffees, iced coffees, cold brews, they have it here. Cold brew's pretty good. I tried it before. Iced lattes and such. Roberto says also Before Sunset. Before Sunset takes place in Vienna, not in. Oh, sorry. I said. My mistake. I said Before Sunrise, which is the first movie. It takes place in Vienna. It's Before Sunset, which takes place in Paris. Starts here, Shakespeare and Company. And then Before Midnight takes place in Greece. Great trilogy of films, in my opinion. Let me show you more things around here. Renee says, is there any Spider-Man locations in Paris? No, I don't think so. I'm hard-pressed to find any Marvel hero that is in Paris. This is the Church of Saint-Severin. Have you tried cafe au lait? I don't like milk. I tried having a milk drink once. Milk here in Paris in France is not better than the one in the US. I learned that milk here is hyper pasteurized rather than just pasteurized as in the US, so it's technically worse. But that's not the case with cheese or butter. So here's where they would hold the prisoners, the sinners, who would dare to defy the church, they would be put here. No, I'm joking around. I have no idea what this is for. Let me know if anyone knows. I think this is just to protect the well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this is. There has been rumors of a ghost that sings here all day, but no one knows, no one sees her, but they hear her. Her spirit lingers, playing, singing into the microphone. No, I'm joking around. This is speakers. He says Bartok. Oh, I don't know too much about Bartok. S. Field says that these chairs are meant for penance. Yep. I think Catholic churches in France make their chairs purposefully uncomfortable, so you have to pay penance. Ron says the cage is for his timeout folks on the chat. That's a good use. That was the Church of Saint-Severin. Was it? No, sorry, it's not called Saint-Severin. We are on the Rue Saint-Severin. So this is the Rue Saint-Severin, is right here. That's the Church of Saint-Severin right down there. So my mistake, everyone. This is the Church of Saint-Julien-la-Preuve. Wow, dates to around between 1045 and 1120. Wow, that's old. Is it? Or is it 1651? Wendy says you sound swooning in the whisper. Well, Paris is the city to swoon. This is the oldest tree in all of Paris. Planted in 1601 by a man named John Robin. He took a locust tree from North America and planted it right over here. Now locust trees in France are known as robinières. The area where the locust trees actually grown used to be the former French colonies of the United States. So further north of Louisiana. Now these usually grow only until about 35 feet tall. Huh, look who we found. Everyone, Penny and Cooper, the copper colored pigeons. They have come and visited Paris. They're on holiday. They're on honeymoon. Penny and Cooper, the copper-colored pigeons, they're on honeymoon. Here in Paris. From New York. Usually it grows about 35 feet tall. But this one's 50 feet tall, so it's huge. And it might be the oldest tree in Paris. At least that's what most people say. Now, this tree is actually very unstable. They had to build first a ring of benches and then this fence. And then they had to build a huge concrete with, I think, steel in the middle. Reinforced column. Diane says, have I been to Montparnasse? No, I've not been to Montparnasse Cemetery yet, nor the tower. So as I mentioned in my short video, if you want to see stories like these, I do short videos on TikTok, Ariel Vieira, my name, or on Facebook, Urbanist Live. You can watch those short videos there, and sometimes I post them on YouTube. You can learn more about them. But as I said in that video, Victor Hugo had shade over here as he was writing The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Victor Hugo is one of the most famous French writers in all of history. He wrote not only The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but also wrote one of my favorite, what turned into my favorite musical, Les Mis. He wrote the book. And the reason he wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame was because Notre Dame was in a dire state. It was crumbling down, dark because of all the tar from all the incense and maybe people smoking in church. I'm not sure if they did. It just looked very dreary, and it was a safety hazard for a lot of Parisians. During the French Revolution, they were tempted to even blow it up, and people really did not want to see this eyesore of a cathedral anymore during Victor Hugo's time. But Victor Hugo saw the beauty of Notre Dame. He thought, how can we even consider destroying such a architectural masterpiece? And remember, this time was after the French Revolution, so France was in the process of heavy secularization. So, especially during the years of the Revolution, they did not want anything to do with the Christian church, the Catholic Church. So he thought of a brilliant plan. How can a writer who specializes in fiction, narrative fiction, save a cathedral from demolition or from general just negligence? Well, write a book about it. That's what he did. He ended up writing a fiction book called The Hunchback of Notre Dame that takes place here. But apparently the book, I've never read it myself, I've only seen the Disney film. But apparently the book has an immense amount of architectural details about Notre Dame. So the book is more a piece about Notre Dame than it is about the story of Quasimodo and the woman. Who's the main woman figure in that? Do let me know. And that story got so popular that Paris united in order to fix Notre Dame and preserve it. So it's one of the main reasons is Victor Hugo and the Hunchback who saved Notre Dame. But unfortunately, a few years ago, it was 2019, right? Do let me know. It burned down. Apparently, there was a fire in the rooftop as they were preserving it. So they were doing repairs. And it just spread. Luckily, most of the core structure is still intact. And now they're fixing it. Esmeralda. Thank you so much. Esmeralda was the name of the woman. Lorraine says, yes, 2019. Thank you so much. I had the pleasure of visiting Notre Dame myself when I came here in 2013. It was mesmerizing. I remember going to the rooftop, to the spire, and seeing the views of Paris with these huge gargoyles. It was truly epic. Susan says, Charles Lawton was the original Hunchback. A lot of history in Notre Dame as well in that movie. Oh, cool. Yeah. I admire Victor Hugo because he is definitely someone you could call an urbanist. Because he truly... Ooh, I saw a rat. I saw a Ratatouille right down there. Now we can't see him anymore. But a rat just passed behind me. He was a true urbanist. He was a guy who knew his city, who knew his architecture, incorporated it into his stories, and saved some of the most priceless architecture in Paris and made Paris truly a city to visit for most Europeans all around the world. I mean, for most people all around the world, due to his stories. So that's amazing. Really cool that Victor Hugo did that. The organ was so beautiful, and Girl in the Curl says it was sabotage. Kathy says, okay, let's go. It's closed. We can't go inside. We can only walk around it. So no, we can't go. Ron says, admit it, Ariel, you miss New York City scaffolding. Oh yeah, of course. What else did Hugo write? Les Mis. Do let me know his other works. Those are his two famous works, Les Miserables and The Hunchback. But he wrote many others. Panjota says, the moment I mention it's a clean city, I see a rat. You know, that's a rat is a very rare sight. This is the second rat I've seen in Paris. But just remember the movie Ratatouille. Rats here are cute and cuddly, and they know how to cook. Maslov says he also wrote poetry. Oh, cool. His house is still, you can still visit his house, which is really cool, and I might visit it myself. So this is a Gothic cathedral, and these are the flying buttresses. These buttresses are what enables Notre Dame to be a cathedral of light, to allow these huge windows that allows a lot of light to seep into the structure. Vita says, sure they do. No, I mean, Ratatouille is a documentary. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen. You think Ratatouille is a fiction movie? It's not The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Ratatouille is a documentary. It's based on the real life story of the rat who knows how to cook. Girl in the Curl says, I would not like to drive in the city. Yes, I can imagine, yeah. Driving must be a pain. You can get anywhere via public transportation. That's a good thing. Okay, so who wants to search for some food? I need to recharge my battery so I can both eat food and recharge my battery as well. Let me know if you want to see what we can find here in Paris. Here's some food. There has to be some food somewhere. I don't know where. And then Jota says, yes, please. Kathy says, me. Awesome, Kathy. So we're gonna avoid this area. This is a very touristy street. We're gonna go further down here. Wow. Cool comic book shop. Sean says Le Petit Chalet. I think that might be a little bit too far away to walk around. Oh, these are old Tintins. Second edition. Oh, that's so cool. Tintin, famous comic book from Belgium. Mobius, you know, the French also were very good comic book artists. And Mobius is one of the more famous ones. These drawings are amazing, and this directly inspired The Fifth Element, directed by another Frenchman, Luc Besson. That's so cool. I'm coming back to the store. So search up right now if you want to comic book panels of Tintin or Mobius. It's because of those guys that comic books in the US end up showing these beautiful landscapes. They were known for painting or drawing these very elaborate cityscapes with immense detail, as opposed to American comics that would focus on the actual action hero, and it would be very close up generally, or very simple. The background would be simple, but these were like Tintin would be walking the city, and everything in the cityscape is in detail. The bridge, the waiters, the restaurant, the random landmark, police chasing him. It would be so cool to see those comic books. They're works of art on their own right. Wendy says cocktails too. I mean, that is definitely very important. Ooh, we can go to Mexico. We can have some pizza, Napoletana. Hey Daryl, nice to see you here. Bella says, have a croissant. I mean, croissant is always a good idea. Croissant and quiches. All day, every day. So the restaurant I tried the other day was actually right nearby. It's that one right down there. Le Bistrot de Pirogord. There. Danny says you're the best indeed. Oh, Danny, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. What's your favorite French cartoon, says Eugene. I have not seen French cartoons, though I really, as I mentioned, I really like, well, Tintin is Belgium, but it's very nearby. I really like those Mobius comics. They're really cool. Wendy says, I felt sick of eating snails. I can guarantee this time around you won't be seeing snails on this this adventure.
Bonjour. Oui, oui.
Looks good.
On va chez tes parents de l'anniversaire de Louis, après on va en Toscane.
Putty says, ready to eat, yes. All of these places have very tight seating, so bear with me. We're gonna stroll around. Oh, was facing the camera, sorry, wrong direction. Aya says, would you have cheese? Yes, I'll try cheese here. I already have. I've been having plenty of cheese here. Been feeling damn good having cheese. Setiguela says, si va a beber un cóctel y está bien relajado. So if you drink a cocktail, you're gonna be very relaxed. Indeed, sí, Setiguela, sí, está bien relajado, bien tranquilo, bien tranquilito. Girl in the Curl says, can you get a burger? Yes, you can. Burgers are awesome in Paris. Can we have hot dogs, says Wendy. Yes, you can.
Eh, vas-y, j'en ai marre de regarder.
Watanabe says, the Triplets of Belleville is a great series, yes. Wendy says Burger King. Oh yeah. Lila says Julia Child's is rolling over her grave at Hamburgers in Paris. You know what? I have a feeling she wouldn't. Julia Child was a very easygoing person, and she wasn't snobby. I think she would embrace one of her fellow American cuisine seeping into French culture. I think she would be very proud of it. So no, I don't think so. Susie says she loved a good hamburger. Yep, I have that feeling. Yeah. Let me know if she actually did. I'm curious. Oh, here's the Musée de Cluny. It's a cool museum where you can see ancient Roman ruins, because this area used to be the ancient Roman city of Etiquette before it ever was Paris, run by the Parisi. And so, Aunt Go says, "Are you going to the Pantheon landmark?" No, that I went yesterday. So check out the video from yesterday. So this is 100% of the museum worth visiting. There's a lot of other artworks here from the Middle Ages and before, but I think it's worth it for seeing the ancient Roman ruins. GH says, "How do you not bruise your leg for walking so many days?" I think the worst that can happen is getting callus on your feet. I don't walk that much to get that, luckily. And I pace myself, so I don't go too fast. I might walk a lot faster than most people, but I pace myself. I take my time. Take your time. You know your limits when it comes to walking. Also, buy good footwear. Converses. Lorraine says, "Never knew there was Roman ruins." Yep, just nearby there is. It's very loud. Just very nearby there is there's an ancient Roman Colosseum as well. So don't be fooled. Usually it's not this hard to find food. It's not hard at all. I just have very specific criteria, so I could give you the best show eating food. So that's why I have to find a place where it's relatively calm. It has a good menu. I'm looking for something French and no blaring music. That's very important as well. It's a very specific criteria. But on the way, we're gonna see more. Look at this cool old cinema. Who wants to catch a nice movie? We could catch Singing in the Rain. We could catch Monsieur Ripois. Let's see what else is on. Ooh, we can see La La Land. Ah, that's cool. Nightmare Before Christmas. Un jour à New York. This is Out on the Town. This was the first film that was completely shot on location in New York City. I haven't seen it yet. That would be cool to see on the big screen. Le Magicien 2. We can see Hair, all that jazz. Or we can see Un Américain à Paris. A lot of choices here. Let me peek in. How does the cinema look? Oh, that's so cool. We can't really see too much. Have I seen a movie here yet? Someone asked earlier. Yeah, I saw Top Gun Maverick here because I haven't seen it when I was in the States. And a lot of movies here play in the original language. And I went to a very fancy theater called the Palais Garmont in Alicia, and it was really good. Oh, there's a lot of cool cinemas here. Oh, this seems to be a cinema area. I like that the cinemas here are tiny. Le Filmothèque Quartier Latin. Oh my god, they're playing that movie? Ooh. I would not watch that. Oh, I would not watch that. A lot of people might be walking in to see a movie called Salo. Oh. Oof, I would not watch that movie. It's one of the most obscene movies ever made in history. Don't even look at any clips, please. Just don't. Do yourself a favor. Luckily I never seen it, but I've heard it described to me. Oh my God, I would not see that movie. It's a movie that features like torture and sadism and terrible, terrible things. And I think people are just commonly seeing it during the day. Sahib says, what arrondissement am I in? I don't know. Latin Quarter right now. I hear music. Wow. That's beautiful. That woman is singing. John says we're in the 6th. I think this is something you only see in France. Huh? The guy is stopping her. Paris says, was that woman singing? Yeah, she was, yeah. Huh? Guy, I think, was trying to hit on her, but she walked away. Have you been to Shakespeare and Company? Yep, Sahib, just a few minutes ago. We couldn't walk inside though. No photographs inside. Miss Love says, did that guy run up to her? Yep. He was hitting on her. It seemed like that, and then she just walked away. And then we didn't see anything else around the corner. This area is nice. Probably one of the best areas to hang out in. All right, let's go to a classic French restaurant here in Paris. Prêt à manger. Let's go to Prêt à manger. I wonder what amazing Parisian cuisine they sell in here. Will we find pâté de canard? Will you find some fromage? Who knows? Maybe a good café allongé? Café au lait? Here at Prêt à manger. I'm joking around. So this is English. Wow. This is an English chain here in Paris. Ironically, the only English chain I've seen in Paris is the one with the French name. Oh, there's a lot of cops here. They're blocking off the street. Uh-oh. We got President Macron coming in. Everyone, wave hello to the president. He's in one of these vehicles with his hoodie. I'm glad we saw the president. That was nice. Girl Nicole says to President Macron, let's hang out. Yeah, that'll be nice. CB says Macron will soon be locked up in that cage. Oh no. There's always something to do in politics. I don't follow any politics, but it always amuses me as every single day a new ruler, a new head of state is going to be imprisoned or thrown out or something like that. Miss Lop says, let's go get a macaron right now. A macaron. That would be nice. We haven't passed by any street food, so as you notice, Paris, it does have street food, but nowhere near the level of New York or London. So most of the food does require you to sit down. And we are before dinner time, so a lot of the good restaurants, the ones that sell really exceptional food, are probably not selling food at this moment, with the exception of a few ones that are very popular. Is the street food too pretty to eat? Oh, no, street food here is not that pretty. I think New York and London probably do prettier street food. Get the S with the bread, says Pari Pari. What is that? Oh, Le Pays du Prince. Oh. Ooh, cool restaurants here. I like this area. Romantic, yeah, it is romantic. Romantic. Shots fired. Wow. Beautiful. Let me see if there's somewhere I can sit down. So a pro tip for a quick bite, you can easily go to any boulangerie, to any boulangerie, and grab yourself a sandwich. And sandwiches are really good, very filling, and it's a great quick bite that's savory and has some meat and cheese. They sometimes have vegetarian ones as well. Tracy says, wow, you've been on for almost 3 hours. I have, yeah. Yeah, it's been a long, long time. In a faraway place. Girl in the Curl says, is DoorDash no? It's quickly becoming more popular. So I've seen more food delivery guys around Paris. So yeah, it's quickly becoming popular. Wendy says, please stay for another 5 more hours. What about good French fries? I bet they're good. Yeah, French fries here are amazing. French fries, steak, hamburgers. Oh my God. So amazing. Oh my God. All right, everyone. I got my ride ready to go. I'm gonna ride this later. Off to my next city.
Ah, j'adore.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Alright. So there's an older woman cracking her ass off. Not sure why. She's down there. I think she saw me with the camera for some reason. She finds it very funny. Showing you a peek. Putty Putty says, what did you order? Not yet. Bonjour. Do you have Negronis? Negroni?
Yes.
Yeah, Negroni. And I'll have the Margette de Pinard.
Yeah.
And then let me see actually for an entree. I'll have a bowl of onion soup first.
Before.
Thanks. In the karafe.
Yes.
Alright, let me hook up my battery. This is a beautiful place. So if you know where I'm at, keep it to yourself and then eat. If it's really good, I'm going to recommend it. I'll show you the outside. And this is the last stop, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the walking portion. Now we're going to eat a full French meal, 2 courses, with a cocktail. And it's so cool that I have this like cozy little corner over here. And it's 2 stories. It's so cool. I like it. Wendy says this is going to be really special. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, that's cool. I will try onion soup with fries, says Putty Putty. Oh yeah, definitely. You can order a bunch of things. The desserts look good as well. Hot things look good here. Joanne says onion soup. I haven't tried that in years. Kathy says have a Negroni for me. That's what I ordered. You know, you can order a lot of great wines. Yeah, you can order a lot of great wines. I'm not a fan of wine personally, but there is good wine here, and the wine I think is going to be, on average, much more inexpensive than New York. Definitely a lot less. And then B, generally you're going to get very good quality for the price. Because in New York City you end up spending $12 for a cup of wine. It ends up being very expensive. Or more. Sometimes it's like $18 for a cup of wine. Here you can buy $18, you can buy a bottle. It's the same case in many other European countries like Spain as well, and Italy. In terrasse means outside, so it's crazy. Yeah, but it's very cramped. It's very awkward to do a live video in the terrace. If I were with a friend, if I had a co-host, then maybe. But yeah, that's why luckily I'm sitting inside. It's a bit more calmer. JH says, first time travelers for scared. That's a great question. I've come to realize that not everyone is in the same position as me, where I grew up in a major city. I grew up in New York. I grew up in Queens specifically. And I visit Puerto Rico all the time, which is a fairly urbanized country as well. So if you're not from a city, actually, first, if you're from a city, don't fret too much. It'll be very similar in vibe to New York or to Boston or to Chicago or to Seattle. If you can manage those cities, you'll manage here well. Most people already know English. Just always greet them with a bonjour, or if it's later at night, a bonsoir, because that's the key to have a good communication. But especially in the center of Paris, you can easily switch to English almost immediately, and most people don't mind. Beyond that, I could encourage you to stay somewhere very central on your first time. If it's your first time visiting Paris or visiting any place in Europe, stay as centralized as you can, depending on your budget, of course. If you're very young, if you're below the age of like 26, then stay in a hostel. That's a fun experience. But if you're older, stay as central as you can. Spend that little bit extra money, stay in a good hotel right in the middle of the city, and do walking. You don't need to go on the metro and hop on immediately. Joanne, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Esfield says, be aware, not afraid, act confident with purpose. Yes. If you're not from a city, if you've never really ever been to a city, if you can, don't cram Paris into 3 days or 4 days. If you're able to, do your entire 2-week vacation in Paris or 1-week vacation in Paris. It might seem significant. Merci beaucoup. Merci. So, if you're not from a city at all, travel here longer than what many people might tell you. So a lot of people might tell you, hey, you can easily do Paris in 3 days. But if you're not from a major city, it's going to be very overwhelming. It might be stimulus overload, and it's better to just pace yourself. Don't try to cram a bunch of things into your itinerary. A lot of people who come to a new city, they're traveling, first time they're traveling, or they're not frequent travelers like I am. Some people get anxious, and through their anxiety, they overplan. They start making very dense itineraries. Eiffel Tower in the morning, Louvre in the afternoon, or say immediately after the Louvre, and after the Louvre we're going to take the double-decker bus and do the night tour. And then we're going to eat at this restaurant. Breathe. You don't need to do that in Paris. If you have the time, don't do that. If you don't have the time, don't do that either. You end up missing the beauty of a city like Paris, or London, or New York, or Rome. Take your sweet time. Do one attraction. If you're not from a city, do one attraction. Only one. And then find yourself a list of a few cafes in that nearby area. Already know a general idea where you can go for eating, and do that. You give yourself permission to be at ease in a new situation. And once you have that permission, once you feel like you are at ease, trust me, you'll see a lot more than any of your friends who over-itinerarized have. Try it out. Cheers. Wendy says, oh yes. It takes time to soak in the environment. It really does, yeah. SJ says there's quite a lot of history in Paris. 3 days is nothing. Yeah. Paris is. Sorry, I gotta stretch out a little bit. Paris is definitely a city with a lot of history. So a lot of things to do in Paris. This is a good Negroni. These tend to serve Negronis short here, but these are really good. I love the glassware. Look at that. I need water. Natalie says, yeah, so a little bit more practical. Natalie says that there's good bus line tours. Yes, so there's the double-decker bus, and there's a toot bus, which I heard is quite a hoot. You can take, my advice is, if any city, this is not just Paris, but literally any city, take the double-decker bus your first day, and there you'll get an idea. Don't stop. Don't use the bus as a commuting tool, at least at first. Take the full trip of the bus. And generally, it'll be 1 to 2 hours long. That's the case in most cities. It's about 2 hours maximum. And there, you really get a sense of the entire city. Don't listen to anyone who says it's too touristy. Don't be scared about the price. It might be 26 euro or 30 euro or $30, depending on what city you're in. Don't be scared about that price. It's well worth getting a sense of the entire city, where the landmarks are located, what landmarks strike your fancy or not. You might pass by the Arc de Triomphe and think to yourself, I actually don't want to go there. It's a bit too busy, a bit too crowded. But I actually want to go to the Orsay, or want to go to the Place de Concorde. And you might think of yourself doing that. Isabel says, I tried to look for Bado water here in the US, but they have none. There's only a pack on eBay for $160 US. Yeah, it's a French water. I think the only French water you'll find in the US is Pierre and Evian. Pierre for sparkling, Evian for still. Murad says, I would be like, I want to see them all. Yeah. I mean, it depends on your tolerance. Setigual says, introverted me. Setigual, gracias por preguntando. Y tú I'm going to answer this in Spanish first. ¿Y tú es introvertida? Creo que así se dice, introvertida. Yo no sé cómo se dice introverted en Spanish. Sugiero que lo coges suave, no hagas tantas cosas a la vez. Y en términos de restaurantes y comiendo, es fácil comer aquí solo. Ahorita estás con familia y no quieres comer en un sitio demasiado con mucho sonido. Vaya a un lugar más callado como este, más tranquilo. No te tienes que sentar en la terraza, te puedes sentar aquí atrás y un poco más tranquilo. So if you're introverted and don't want to go to a place that's too loud, too hectic, cool thing about Paris is that you do have both, best of both worlds. You can go to a place that's really full with a lot of people, and you can sit in the terrace, you can sit in the outdoor seating and be very close to other people and meet other people. But if you don't want to, more introverted, sit here in the back, away from the crowds. Go to a restaurant that's not packed. Some restaurants actually still have good food and they're pretty empty. Some restaurants, they're really empty. The food might be okay. It's not gonna be terrible. It might be okay. But at least you get okay food in a very calm setting. So sometimes you might need to make a sacrifice. Sometimes you might not be able to find an excellent restaurant that's empty. So you might need to go to a good restaurant that's empty and chill out. You can do that. Merci beaucoup. And some bread as well. Let me see. So, Wendy says, are you ever shy? That's a great question. Wendy, you know who I actually met today? I saw a very famous YouTuber in a cafe in Montmartre. And Ron says, there's only 383 people. Try whispering. So I saw Nathaniel Drew, and he's a very popular YouTuber. He does content about self-improvement a lot. He also covers Paris because he's an American that now lives here. And I saw him in a cafe. I did not come off as shy, but I really like his work. The guy has like 3 million, 2 million, 3 million subscribers. He's very big. And I felt nervous. I didn't come off as shy, I think. I think I came off as very chill and confident. But inside I felt very nervous. And after that, my heart was racing. It felt very similar to meeting like a celebrity. Do I feel shy overall? Depends on the area. So it's like in certain countries, eating in public is weird. Madrid is one of those places. So I felt way more shy in Madrid than I do here in Paris. I feel way more outgoing in Mexico or in Ireland than I do in Paris because I know the language of those two countries respectively. So yeah, it depends on the country. All right, here it is. So look at this French onion soup. So we got a French onion soup, classic. It is a whole bunch of cheese with a lot of onions. This one has some bread as well, yeah, there's some bread as well. Ah, there we go. Full day-old bread, because that's a great best way of using day-old bread. Isabel says that it looks so delicious on this. Let's try it out. George says it just needs a little Irish butter. Indeed, yeah. Look at that. All right. What cheese is this? That's a good question. I don't know. AAP says that's no Velveeta. No. It's hot though. And take a small sip. Manny says, I think I would like bread on the side. Yeah. They don't always give it automatically. You might need to ask for it. But yeah. Sorry. Susie says, I'm not a fan of soup. Otherwise, unless if I'm sick. Yeah. Yeah, it depends. It's Gruyere cheese. Thank you so much, Peggy and Macrina. I appreciate that. So Gruyere right here. If you're tuning into a live video right now, let me know where you're watching from. Welcome everyone. We're having a French meal in the middle of Paris. And this is a very good French onion soup. The bread, oh, so fluffy, soft. Great Gruyere cheese. The cheese quality here is so good. One of the best countries to have cheeses, especially mature cheeses. And great heaping of onions, but cut very finely, so it's a lot easier to eat. Mighty Bull, thank you so much for tuning in from New York. And Heavenbound says Corpus Christi, Texas. Oh, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in from Texas. I use Swiss cheese in mine. Says Merilla. That's so cool, Mira. Sean says bonjour from the Philippines. ¿Cómo está acá? Bonjour. Susie says I'm watching from my boudoir. And Tammany's watching from Oregon. Welcome. Oh wow. Very good, very soft. Easy to eat. Good if you want to warm up on a cold Parisian night. Not too cheesy, which is good. Lucy from London, Canada, welcome. Sahid from Long Island, nice to see you here, Sahid. And Susan from Provolone. You put Provolone on yours? Awesome. Roberto, you're watching from Mordor? Oh, that's awesome. You have the ring? So here's another pro tip when it comes to dining in Parisian restaurants. Order everything that you want in the beginning, and don't do what I did by mistake right now. If you're ready to order, don't hesitate. The waiters are not going to be so kind. I mean, they're not going to insult you at all, but they're not going to be so kind if you're the person who's like, okay, I'm ready to order. Don't do that. Don't do that. Tammany says it's too early for French onion soup where you're at. But it's perfect for a Parisian evening. That's so good. Tammany says, don't make the French upset. No. Paris says they have a different culture. I prefer American culture. Yeah, you can prefer the culture that you want, Paris. That's fine. I would recommend if anyone who's traveling, try to blend into the culture of the country, of the city, because you're not gonna have a good time. It's gonna be you're gonna have a lot of issues if you resist against embracing that culture. So, for example, if you want fast service, either if you like fast service, if you like dining and you're ready to go to the Louvre at a certain time, or you're dining and you want to go to a certain museum on time, then don't go to a French restaurant because it's not going to be fast. Do yourself a favor, go to Boulangerie, get yourself a sandwich, or go to some other fast food restaurant, and boom, there you go. You have it a lot quicker. It's not like the US where you can go to a restaurant fast. Alright everyone, so feel free to ask me literally any question you would like as we're dining on this. I'm going to have one more course, which I'm going to show to you. So excited for the main course. There's another super French thing. Tammany says the soup looks so wonderful. I'm making a charcuterie board with all French cheeses thanks to your inspiration. Oh, I'm so glad. That's so cool. Yeah, if you live in the major city in the US, you most likely can't find a French cheese shop or charcuterie shop. So you can find other places with good charcuterie. Putty says, is the onion soup special except the cheese? It's not special, it's just a common meal. So I got a comment on a video I did of a typical Parisian meal where I had steak and frites, steak and fries, and I had coffee, and I had like a dessert which was called flan here. And the comment said, why are you eating everything that you can find in America? This is a terrible video. You can eat certain things here that are very different from the US. You can eat snails, you can eat frog legs. But to eat normal Parisian cuisine, a lot of these things are things that already exist. There are already things that you'll find in the U.S. Steak and fries. It's in many places in the U.S. Onion soup. It's another thing you'll find in a lot of places in the U.S. But it's cool eating them here, and that's what a lot of the restaurants serve. But I'm about to show you something for the main course that is not found in many places in America. SJ says, are you satisfied with current lodging? Yes, I am. Very satisfied. I'm sleeping very well. I have a beautiful place where it's facing a courtyard. Super quiet. And then in the morning I hear the birds singing. Oh, it's amazing. Except the church bells ring at 8:30, so that's my wake-up call. Wendy says, please not creatures. No, no snails, no snails. What is the best book of culture that you've read of Paris, says John? You know, I haven't read too many books about culture in Paris. I'll show you one. I've been reading this one. This one's really good and funny. And I think this guy is British. Because the humor is very British. It's awesome to read British style humor about Paris. No, there's no bio about him. Stephen Clark's Paris Revealed, The Secret Life of a City. Tammany says, have you had any crepes? Yeah, I did the philosophical chat eating crepes. A Parisian accident waiting to happen. I like this. It's really funny. It talks about all aspects of Parisian life, but in a typical British, sardonic, satirical way. I really love it. Pari asks, is there a time limit for how much you stay in the restaurant? That's a great question. So in America, especially in New York, restaurants tend to be tiny. But even if the restaurants are big, they still rush you out. So in New York, you get your appetizer. As you're eating your appetizer, you already serve your main course. As you're eating your main course, they already ask you if you want dessert. And pretty much once you get your dessert, you'll be getting your check the moment you're already finishing your dessert. If you're taking a long time finishing that dessert, they're gonna put your check down. It's normal in the US. You're rushed out of the table, especially if it's already been an hour. No longer than that. Italy, it depends. If it's a very popular place, they probably don't want you to stay longer than an hour and a half. London as well, unless if you're at a pub and they don't care at all. But here in Paris, no. If you have the table, you have the table. It's yours. You can stay as long as you want. Hours. Read all the books that you want. Write all the postcards that you would like. Just maybe don't take out your laptop, because that might be frowned upon in certain cafes. But if it's the morning, I've seen people with their laptop too. But here, if you're with someone or you're with a group of friends, you chat the night away at Parisian cafe. Especially if you're seeing the terrace. The terrace, they're not gonna hassle you too much. If it's like a food restaurant, then maybe. But I think it's well beyond the limit of America. It's hours. Jeff says coffee is 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. No, coffee you can have here at all times in Paris. Similar to Greece in that regard. It's not like New York, where coffee usually stops about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in New York. Here you can have coffee at any time. I like it. Another. Ron says, have I been to Starbucks here? No, I've not been to Starbucks. I will only go to Starbucks for the free Wi-Fi, if needed. Do they provide sockets here? No. Parisian cafes usually don't have any types of sockets. I'm using this. Massive battery pack. And unlike Italy, you can order whatever coffee any time of the day. You won't get as weird looks as you would in Italy ordering a cappuccino after 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. All right, one more course. Robin says, yes, I crave a good coffee in the evening. And something ubiquitous in Paris that might not be ubiquitous in the US yet, or other major cities, is you can order decaf. Almost every place has decaf on the menu. And it's just called Deca, Café Deca. And they give you a decaf espresso. Really good. Or Deca Allongé. And there you can drink your coffee at like 12 midnight when you're chatting away the night with your Parisian friends. Did he bring the bread? No, he didn't. But I'll ask again for the main course. Murad says it would be a sin to go to Starbucks in Paris. Yes, like New York, like London, there's amazing coffee here in Paris, and there's amazing coffee shops. So if you want your super high quality coffee, or want to go to a coffee shop, not a cafe like this, go to many of the coffee shops all around central Paris. And Buddy says, what's our main course? Day 2. Coming soon to a table near you is a type of food that you won't find usually in the US. It's much more rare in the US. But it's not as icky as snails to a lot of people. Ron says, have you come across French hipsters? Yeah, the coffee shops, you can you can see that cool crowd. Yeah, coffee shops. Guys with mustaches, beards, with the glasses, with the bright shirts. Yeah, you can see a lot of those dudes. Oh my god. Am I a hipster? Timothy says escargot is yummy. John says you're looking at French. Yeah, pretty much. I just gotta get that classic blue jacket. I fit in. AP, and a lot of people are guessing rabbit. Think of a different other cute and cuddly animal. Kay says I can't eat as I've had just a tooth filled. Oh no, Kay. Do feel better. Round of applause for Kay. Hopefully she feels better. Also Maureen as well. 2 mega urbanists that need some healing vibes. AEP says quail. That is a cute animal, actually. I think quail might be more popular in UK. Peggy says cute and cuddly. Kitten? No. Wendy says Ratatouille? No. Baby channel, welcome. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do you have a famous Lebanese ice cream here, Sabib? I passed by it There's a very popular place in Le Marais district, right by the Centre Pompidou, which is the Modern Art Museum. I've not tried it yet. Let me know what's special about Lebanese ice cream that's different from other types of ice cream. Isabel says, have you found that you don't need to be fluent in French to get around? Yeah, that's pretty much the case. I have barely been using French, and the moment they hear your accent or they hear you struggle, they just allow Parisians to switch to English. So I have not had any issues whatsoever. But it does pay off to know bonjour and bonsoir. Wendy says, not squirrel. No. That, I'm not sure if served anywhere. Yes. Thank you so much. Very good. Morgan says guinea pig. That's a good one. Tammany says a little piggy. You know, that is more common in France. Sean says, I like your storytelling. Oh, thank you so much, Sean. Are you fond of designs too? Most of the designs are Beaux-Arts. Yeah, so most of the Parisian landscape is Beaux-Arts. The Haussmannian design. It's very typical him also, like very typical from that era. And it's gorgeous, yeah, gorgeous architecture, but you'll see also here a lot of modern architecture. We're actually really close to a Arabic center because France has a significant Arabic population and for a long time of its history. And there's a really cool modern one nearby. It's a really beautiful building. Espiel says Smurfs. Are they French? I think they were from some random European country. Joseph says, you visit a bookstore that is listed in the top 10 best bookstores in the world, Shakespeare and Company. Yeah. So here, unlike in the US, they won't serve you your main course as you're finishing your appetizer. The guy just cleared the table from the appetizer, then your main course comes. Hey George, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says get a postcard for Ron. George, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Nicole says pigeon is popular in France. I didn't hear about that. Adrian says you're going to enjoy some of the work of Le Corbusier. Le Corbusier if you don't know who Le Corbusier is, I really disagree with his philosophy of urbanism. So Le Corbusier believed that we should build super blocks of huge high-rise residential architecture filled with highways all around. So Le Corbusier inspired Robert Moses in New York. Robert Moses was basically his disciple in terms of the philosophy of urbanism. They believed that the car was the true elevation of humanity, and that we all just needed to live in gigantic high-rises, unlike the rest of America that decide to go in the suburbs. So I don't really like him for that reason, but his architecture is really cool. It's kind of very minimalistic. Ethan says, will you plan to move to Europe? I mean, I plan for 3 months. Will I ever go back? depends. If I marry European, then maybe I'll just stay. Christopher says, hello from Winnipeg. Christopher, nice to see you here. How are the croissants in Paris compared to North America? Croissants in North America are much more denser. Here, they're much more lighter, fluffier. And the quality of butter is way better, in my opinion. Not in my opinion, actually, pretty much objectively, the butter is better in France than it is in the US, unless if you're getting some local butter from a small farmer. Just as Robert Moses was born in my hometown of New Haven, Connecticut. Yeah. So people don't know Robert Moses was the master planner of New York for 4 or 5 decades. AP says, I love The Power Broker by Robert Moses. Yes. And I think they talk about Le Corbusier there. Peggy says, I'm going to try Negroni this weekend. Oh yeah, try it out. Wendy says, oh sorry, what? Sorry about what? Wendy, thank you so much for tuning in. GH says, where's your next trip? Every day. Well, every Thursdays and Saturdays is a new adventure. Stay tuned. I will be showing different places. I just stayed in Paris for a long time. But new places will be shown. When? You'll find out. Where? You'll find out. Peggy says, I need to go get my passport renewed and go to Paris. You can find, yes, do that. But you can find a Negroni in every bar in the US. Every bar that serves cocktails in the US. Actually, that might be an overstatement. If it's a nice bar, or if they have some type of cocktails, they'll probably have it, and they'll probably make it for you. If it's a dive bar, they won't. They have no idea. Wendy says, sorry for not being married to you. Lee says, are there any marionette shows in the parks? I have not seen marionette shows at all. That's something that might be more from movies than real life. Just like the mimes and the guy playing accordion. Macrina says, do you have extra pages on your passport to get renewed? I bought a extra large passport. So in the US you can buy 2 different types of passports, the normal one or you can buy the larger one. I got the larger one. I needed more papers because I knew I was going to travel, and that was back in 2017. Dia says, it's Ariel Bourdain, parts unknown. You won't know. You just won't know. Thanks for the great streams from Paris. Just as good as Ireland, Greece, and Italy, says Bear in the Garden. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed all those 3 countries. I'm so glad I was able to do Paris some justice. AEP says, in Paris they're not liberal with the ice in their drinks. No. I think the only ice you can really find in the drink is in the cocktail. And being Puerto Rican, mojitos are very popular here. You can find them in almost every single brasserie or cafe. I like my Negronis. And you can find pina coladas too, which is cool. Esfiel says, has anything surprised you since your last visit to Paris? More coffee shops, a lot more. One thing that a lot of people who give advice about Paris or France is they say that people are not friendly. And that certainly was my experience the first 2 times I came here. But this time around, wow, I've seen so many friendly faces. And one tip that a lot of people give is to not smile, or Parisians don't tend to smile. I've seen so many smiley people, and I usually am smiling in the US, normally. But I tend not to do it here because I thought it was not, classy to do, not nice to do. But I've seen so many people be very smiley and very happy and very kind. So that's what surprised me. Merci. Merci beaucoup. All right, everyone. The final course, right over here. It is something very typical French. This one you'll find very often in many places all around the country, and I love it. The cute and cuddly animal that I'm talking about is not a rabbit, it's not a quail, it's not a pigeon, luckily. It is, well, it is a canard, a duck, with some creamy cheese, aligot or aligot. Girl in the Curl says, is it okay to say Ariel's handsome? Oh, thank you. You're making me blush. So, creamy cheese. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Let it slide down. Wow. That's good. Isabel says that duck is prepared right. Let's see. Let's see if it's easy to cut into. First, let me try the cheese, since it's already on my fork. Look at that. Joseph says no Velveeta here. No. It's fondue. Yeah, it's fondue, basically. That's so good. Wow. The bread is a bit old. I'm not sure why the bread is old. It's not a good baguette, but the cheese, oh my god. It has a kind of a grainier texture to it. It's very soft. It tastes like Velveeta, but like a higher end Velveeta. Now this is a well-made duck. Duck is among the hardest meats to cook. It's not like a steak where you throw it upon a very hot grill that's already hot. It's not like chicken where you can pop into the rotisserie or grill it or fry it. It's not like pork. Just put it in the oven for many hours. Of course, it gets more complicated with each of those. You can do it really well, but they're easy to cook. Duck, on the other hand, is a pain to cook at home because you gotta cook it on a cold pan, you gotta wait, each side has to be different, then you gotta put the pan very high, it's complicated. So this is cooked really well, at least the look of it. Let's see how the taste buds show. George says, is this fish? No, this is duck. It's not focusing.
Service, je sais pas. Oui.
super tender. They made the duck with the duck fat on it, so you get a nice combination of this kind of greasiness from the juicy duck breast. Does it come with any vegetables? Yes. Yes. It's so little vegetables, almost nothing. No, barely any vegetables. So barely any vegetables. Usually in other places I've seen them give a little bit more vegetables, but the cheese is really good. Now let's dip this into the cheese. Wendy says, is it mouth-watering good? Oh yes. Janet says it can get very greasy, so it doesn't taste that greasy, which is good. So it's not unappetizing as sometimes a meat that's cooked way too greasily. The sauce that they made is really good as well. It's some type of cherry reduction. Now I'm dipping it. Wow, that's a good combination. It's a good combination, but you can barely taste the cheese, and you can barely taste the duck, because it's all very powerful together. It's really good. I would eat the cheese with the bread and then the duck on its own, because the duck is so well made. AEP says it's like a circus in your mouth. Yeah, basically. Is it wild duck or domestic white duck? Joanne, I don't know. I didn't ask, and I didn't see it in the menu. It just said canard, so I didn't say something else. All right, everyone. So this is a great restaurant. I do recommend it. Everything was really good, except the bread. But everything else was really good. I do recommend it. It's right here in the center of the city. We're also right by the Museum of Cluny, not George Clooney, but the Museum of the Middle Ages and before. Highly recommend it. Walking distance of Notre Dame. Also pretty much walking distance to Eiffel Tower at this point. It's about a 30-minute walk, and it's worth it. Let me find the name of the restaurant before I leave all of you. Tune in Thursdays to Saturdays at 3 p.m. Western European time, 2 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. Eastern Europe, 9 a.m. New York. It's a place. The place is called A Petite Suisse. A Petite Suisse. If anyone can write it down, A Petite Suisse. Highly recommend it. It was a nice time. I assume this will get packed at night. And Kay says now I would go and watch. This has been one of your best live streams, says DS. Fantastic storytelling. I'm so glad if someone can write A Petite Suisse in the comments, I'll tag it. And Adriana says, gracias Ariel, buen provecho. What about dessert? It's a little bit too much for me right now. I gotta eat this first. Oh, there we go. Alright, there we go. Thank you so much, Toilet Brush Salesman. Right there. Check it out. A Petite Suisse. Have a great day, everyone. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. See you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Au revoir, mes amis.